A retired Air Force general warns of rising Chinese competition in space exploration and says the new global war will likely be fought in outer space. One America's Kristian Rouz looks into the matter.
The technology, if optimized, can change world power. And there's nothing you can do if you don't have that power.
Controversial remarks from a retired US Air Force official shed light on the latest military technology that could transform our understanding of the next global war. According to Lieutenant General Stephen Quast, the US military has revolutionary technology in the transportation, energy, IT and manufacturing sectors. His remarks suggest the future of warfare may be in outer space after all.
This technology can be built today with technology that is not developmental to deliver any human being from any place on planet Earth to any other place in less than an hour.
Quast made his revelations in a speech at Hillsdale College in Washington last month, saying the US urgently needs to develop a space force, despite numerous international conventions and UN resolutions prohibiting the use of outer space for military purposes. Nonetheless, Russia established its aerospace forces back in 2015, while Iran and China have had their own for years. The US has yet to establish a space force of its own, following President Trump's proposal made in March 2018. Quast says China is already building a navy in space, which may explain Beijing's theft of intellectual property that is required for such an ambitious endeavor.
To deliver Wi-Fi from space, where you never need a cell tower to connect. To deliver energy from space, where you never have to plug your phone in and it trickle charges, and you can use that energy over time. It can be applied to cars, to houses.
Meanwhile, Quast says, although the US has the technology to establish strong military presence in outer space, it has yet to take any practical steps to do so. He also says outer space is becoming an increasingly important market for the 21st century economy. And while global empires of the 18th century based their economic prosperity of maritime trade and naval power, Quast believes networking economies of this century will have to establish military control in space. This means a future war may not be avoided, as political and economic interests of global powers will inevitably clash at the final frontier.
And China is racing with ships on that open ocean to that great, open, desolate place that can be turned into resources and blessing for a marketplace.
In this light, recent reports of supersonic and underwater nuclear weapons tested by Russia, along with advanced nuclear-powered rockets, may suggest the great nations are gearing up for competition outside this planet. Quast warns of a new space race that, unlike the purely scientific space exploration of the past century, will be a dual-purpose military-economic competition. If such a race cannot be avoided, Quast says, the US must lead in its every aspect.
And we, as an American society, we are sitting on Miami Beach, sipping our pina colada, looking out at the waves, and as we are watching China build this navy with battleships and destroyers going out into the open oceans and off to this continent 3 times the size of Africa, we are building buoys and lighthouses.
In his statements and a flurry of recent articles, Quast makes it clear there is an urgent need to increase investment in the aerospace sector and boost America's dual-purpose space technology. However, critics may say such narratives only serve the purpose of feeding enormous budgets to the war machine, while the threat of a great space war remains a far-fetched fantasy. Kristian Rouz, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.